Good morning, everybody. Dave Schmidt along with Matt Nestor and producer Tom Warner. We're going to shift gears a little bit, and I love cross country. It's a great sport. It's a team sport.
Yeah.
Because you got to have 5 good runners to win a meet, and you got to have a guy that's really good. And North Boone right now has one of those guys. His name is Skyler Yunk. Hey, Skyler, good to have you on today. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Are you running today? Do you guys have a meet?
Not today. No, we have this Saturday off.
Let me ask you a quick question. You know, is it kind of fun for you over at North Boone? I mean, basically, you never heard much about cross country over at North Boone. You're kind of putting them on the map, and you got some teammates helping you out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely on the rise this year. Definitely better and improved since years past.
You know, what has been the big key in that improvement? I mean, obviously you've been running well, but your teammates have stepped up. So what's been the key for you guys to be able to take that next step?
Well, me and a lot of my friends who all got into it as we were freshmen, we always had this goal to go to state at least some point, and each year we've just been improving more and more. And over the summer, we trained really well, and we've just been running really well this season. So things are going pretty good for North Boone right now.
So how much over the course of a summer did you guys end up running?
I ran a little more than the rest of my team, but I ran around 500 miles.
Oh, man. So, you know, when I had some kids, my kids ran cross country. Do you guys run in a pack, or do they usually let you just take off and do your own thing, Skyler?
Yeah, it usually depends on the race. Usually in smaller races, it'll get a little more separated. But if there's a bigger race with a lot more kids, you'll usually end up with someone who's about your talent, and you'll usually run with them and push each other throughout the whole race.
Hey, what's been the toughest track for you to run so far?
The toughest track?
Yeah.
You mean course?
Course, yeah.
On Wednesday, we went to Byron, and Byron's definitely a pretty tough course to run. It's a lot of hills.
That's a bad word for cross-country guys sometimes, and in the hills and mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, last week you were at that big meet at Peoria, and you came in 9th in 1A. That had to feel pretty good, didn't it, Skyler?
Yes, it did. Yeah, I was really happy with it.
You know, when you look at the courses in cross-country, you kind of talked about the hills and things like, you know, a lot of different terrain depending where you're running at. How do you prepare for, you know, seeing the different types of courses?
Well, just throughout the week, I'll just do different workouts. Sometimes I'll do speed workouts, or sometimes I'll do long-distance workouts, and then sometimes, like later today, I'll plan on doing a hill workout to try and plan for races of the hillier terrain.
When you look at all this, when did you think it kicked in for you as a cross-country runner? You said you didn't start till you're a freshman, and sometimes that's a late start because kids are starting running pretty early nowadays. When did you realize that you probably could be a pretty good cross-country runner?
Well, I'm sure you know of my cousins and uncle Belvidere North and the great cross-country they have. And when I was in middle school, I was a football player. I was a big football guy, and I did track in middle school. And I was pretty decent at it, so they were trying to convince me to go for cross-country. And then the summer before my freshman year, I was back and forth on what I was going to do. And then I just decided to go all for cross-country. And ever since I did, once I got some success freshman and into sophomore year, then I really fell in love with it and got pretty dedicated to the sport and tried to get as best as I could be.
So what you're saying is cross-country is just in your blood, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, your cousin, is Eric then? And he's a pretty decent runner for Belvidere North, isn't he?
Yeah, Eric's doing great right now.
You run against him a couple times. How is that? Do you give him a little lip or something, or you just kind of keep it nice and friendly?
Yeah, I kind of let him do his own thing. He'll beat me pretty good, so I don't need to talk any crap to him.
You know, you do run some track, too. I think you went to state this year in track, right?
I did, yes. I qualified for state in 2 mile.
You know, when you look at that, 2 miles on a track and then you run cross-country, what's the advantages on track that you like maybe over cross-country or cross-country over track when it comes to those distances like that?
Well, I'd say the main difference between track and cross-country is in track it's completely flat, so you don't have to do any hills. And also in cross-country, whenever you have maybe like tight turns in like the forest or out in the prairie or something, you don't get that in track. It's more all gradual turns, so there's no quick slowing and stopping of distances like there is in cross country.
I'm sure your goal for the season is to make it to state. So what do you see as some of your biggest obstacles along the way to maybe try to reach that goal?
Well, right now, I think because in each sectional there's 5 teams that qualify for state, and right now, personally, I'd put us somewhere around like the 7th area. So there's a few teams that we're going to have to beat, and we're going to have to run well at sectionals, but it's definitely reachable. There's some teams that may be right with us that we've beat before, and they've beaten us. So just at the sectional is where we need to come to play.
When you look at cross country, having been around that a long time, you need your 5th, 6th, and 7th runners sometimes to be really good because they can make or break a meet like, especially a big meet where the points can spread a lot. So I bet you're back there encouraging some of those guys to maybe pick it up a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Just one person having a bad race that's usually at the top can mean so much, and that's where we need 6th and 7th runners to step up and take their place.
Skyler, I was doing a little homework on you. You can shoot the basketball, too. Now, listen to this. This is Stillman Valley. I think it was a regional game last year. You had 25 points and 7 threes. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Man, I bet you know what? Cross-country guys got to have an advantage when you play basketball because that's an endurance game, too. And has that helped you a little bit with your basketball game?
Yeah, I think it has, actually. Obviously, cross-country gets you in really good shape, so I've never had a problem in basketball with endurance or getting tired in the 4th quarter, and a majority of my threes in that game actually did come in the 4th quarter, so I think that does help a little bit that I've gotten my endurance up so I can play well throughout the entire basketball game.
You ran 500 miles in the summer. Did you take time to shoot the basketball some too?
Yeah, definitely. Usually I keep a pretty equal balance between the two, and we had our summer league for our basketball team, and we had open gyms and everything. I made sure I was always going to. So I keep pretty busy.
So I was going to say, did you ever have any time to go have any fun during the summer?
Yeah, there's still time for that.
I look at it. See, you're a 3-sport letter winner. How many letters have you won in your career so far?
Well, I've competed in a sport for every season that I've been in high school. So this is now my 10th season of doing sports.
You're going to have to get a new coat.
Yeah.
Or do they just give you one and then give you those little medals to stick on them or whatever they do nowadays?
Yeah, they just give you a different thing for each sport you get.
The one question I know a lot of people, you brought up about the Yunks being your relatives. Did they ever try to say, Skyler, you might really like Belvidere North? They ever talk to you about that, especially your uncle?
Yeah, they have all through high school. Yeah, they've been trying to get me to go there. And I always thought that'd be pretty cool to run at Belvidere North under my uncle and run with my cousins. It'd be pretty fun.
So how did you end up at North Boone?
Just my parents moved out here when I was younger. I think I was 3 years old when they moved into the North Boone district, and I've just been here since.
So real quick before we let you go, if you guys could make it to state and you can perform well, that would be a successful season for you guys?
Yes, that's our main goal this year.
Okay. Skyler, thanks so much. We kind of talked on Twitter a little bit about you coming on today. It wasn't so bad, was it?
No. It was pretty fun.
I think we're going to have to come over and watch you shoot some basketballs. You'll play Marengo. That'll be a fun game. You got that kid that from Marengo shoots all those threes, too. Do you have to block guard him?
Yeah, he's actually phenomenal. He's one of the best players I've ever played against.
Well, coming from a guy that scored 25 points and hit 7 threes, that's a good endorsement.
There you go.
Hey, thanks so much, Skyler. We enjoyed it, and we'll keep an eye on you, okay, bud?
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. We've been talking to Skyler Yunk from North Boone, and he's just one of the Yunk family.
Yeah, one of the running Yunks. That's all they do is just run cross country.
His cousin Eric is really good. If you heard Yunk and his uncle's the coach,
right.
There's always been a Yunk over there.
Yeah, well, there was a couple of years ago where they had like 2 or 3 of them, I think, running.
That's a lot of Yunk.
Yeah, it is. just a lot of Yunk over there.
Skyler did good too. He was nervous, but he did good.
Yeah.